Okay, we're back to the second part of our Poll Everywhere demonstration. And remember, we're at polleverywhere.com. And we've already created a practice poll here. We have 5 questions on it. Now what we want to do is export those to a PowerPoint presentation and see what happens with them. I'm going to select them. I'm just going to click on each one of them. And I'm going to go download as .pptx PowerPoint, and I have 2010 on here. I want to open with Microsoft PowerPoint. And when this downloads, there are going to be multiple pages first that are from Poll Everywhere that give you a good explanation of what's going on here. You can delete these slides if you want, or take the slides with the polls and copy them, paste them into another presentation. But I advise you to take some time and look at this because it does have some good information on here. For example, if I go through this Poll Everywhere, this presentation contains the polls you downloaded. And it says you can jump to slide 7 and enter slideshow mode to see your presentation or to see your poll. But it gives you some other information down here too. Notes for the presenter, instructions, slides, and then your polls. Notice down here too, it also has some notes. So the first time you're ever using this, I would highly suggest that you go through here and look at all of the information that they give you. For example, it says you must be using PowerPoint on Windows to show polls embedded in PowerPoint. If I go to slide 2, again, more notes. You can explain what's going on here. Address concerns. It says this is just standard rate text messaging. So if you have unlimited messaging, you don't have to worry about it. If you do have to pay a standard fee, it's very minimal. But if you have students that have to pay per text, I'm sure they wouldn't want to do it. And let them go on using the internet and using a web page. It will give you that website to go to and you enter data. Very similar, using the same codes. The next slide will tell you how to vote, and again it tells you what number to send the message to, and then the code and how you put the code in. So again, good information. It also has sample instructions for you to tell what you're going to be saying to your audience, your students, whoever it is. They kind of compare it to voting on American Idol. The next slide, again, it's telling you how to vote on their website, pollev.com. And again, you use the same numbers, the same information, and vote that way. You can also vote if you like to using other ways. You can vote using Twitter. You can vote in a number of different ways, and it demonstrates that on here also. When you go down to the bottom then, if you notice, you have several slides, depending on how many questions you have, that have a big X on them. And those are actually hyperlinks right to your poll questions. And when you go into your slide view or into your presentation, that's what you'll see. So I'm going to go back up to slide 1, and again I said you could delete all these slides or copy and paste. I'm not going to do that for this presentation. I'm just going to go up here, do the presentation from the beginning so you can see what exactly is on here. We're just going to go through it quickly. I've kind of reviewed all of this already for you until we get to our next slide that has our first question on it. And here you can see it's loading the poll. Okay, here we go with our first question. On what continent is the South Pole? Now I have a couple phones here that we're going to vote on just to show you how immediate you get your response. I'm going to go to 37607, and all I have to do there is put in the answer that I want for my response. So I put in 427974. And I'm going to do send. And it shouldn't take much time at all. Okay. So there you can see we have 2 responses that have been in. Now, we can only, from your phone, you can only respond 1 time. So you can't kind of stuff the ballot box, so to speak, with this. But you can see if I were offering this as a review question on a quiz, I can see that 50% of the people down here, I can see that there were 2 responses, but suppose there were 20 or 30. And 50% of the people answered Antarctica and the other 50% answered Iceland. Well, I'd be able to think that half of the class knew what we were talking about, but I might worry about the other half. I don't know who answered what question, or who answered which answer, but I do know that 50% of the students in the class got it wrong. All right, I'm going to go on to the next. Should we cancel class tomorrow? And I am definitely saying yes. So I'm going to put in 178238 and send. And again, you'll be able to see how quickly the responses show up on the PowerPoint presentation. Oh, 100%. All right. And you can see how you can add a little levity. Oh, now see, there's some smart aleck that thinks that, no, we shouldn't cancel class tomorrow. And I always like to make class fun, and you can do things like this, add this to it, and just add a little levity to the class. And it kind of makes it fun. Throw in a fun question like this every once in a while that you can laugh about. Here's the one where you actually have to type in an answer. So what is your name? Again, to that same number here, I have to go to 37607. And then with this one, it's a little more complicated because I have to text this number first. So I put in my answer 446491, and then I'm just going to put a space in, and I'll type Sue and send. You'll see that no responses received yet, but soon it should appear. And there you go. And Mark, my helper here, put in an answer, and then mine came in. The next question, moving on. Which is your favorite pet? And we have dog, cat, monkey, snake, or other. So go ahead and if you're watching this now, these polls stay active for a while, so you can try it actually and see if your response would come in as you see this. Of course, you have to be up and have it up live, not through this video, to be able to tell that. But anyway, I'm going to put in my response. Oops. And now, see if we have both answers in there. There we go. And you can see as more answers come in, you're going to have more of a diverse selection of answers in there. But it is, it's fun to see, and it's great, especially if you don't, if your school doesn't have a student's response system or anything. This will work just about as well. Now on to our final question. This, I think, we'll probably get the same answers as we got for the one about do you wish this class were over? Aren't you glad it's almost over? Or should we cancel class tomorrow? This one I am going to put in 450436 and send. and we should be getting our responses. And there we have 2 responses, and that's the consensus that we're glad that class is almost over. So I'm done with my PowerPoint presentation. I can keep this, I can keep the results, but like I said, if I open them up tomorrow, they may be different. If I open them up then in another class, as long as I don't exceed that 40 responses, I can continue asking these poll questions. I'm going to go ahead and close the PowerPoint. And now I'm back to my poll, and I can continue on and create more questions if I want, or I can just save these and save my account. Once I log out, I come back in. My polls questions are still going to be there. So this is polleverywhere.com.